Hi, so effort and ease is what we want to look at today. We're going to shift from the size of movement to the tone of movement. So last episode we looked at size, this episode we'll look at the tone. And the sort of, the underlying effort and ease of a movement or of a dance. Every movement we make, even the smallest, carries a particular tone, right? This muscular, emotional, or even imaginative tonality to the movement. We might think of this as a dynamic range of our dancing. So the dynamics that are used within the dancing, from the held to the released, from tense to soft, to alert, to yielding, so giving way to holding. It's not about control or relaxation as opposites, but about discovering the spectrum in between and sort of noticing and being sort of aware of how we can use and choose around those different qualities and tonuses within the body. You could definitely find a lot of this work done within contemporary dance in general, but specifically within Laban's work, Rudolf Laban's work, and perhaps within sort of release techniques, Skinner release, even sort of the work that Trisha Brown did, and of course some somatic techniques like Alexander technique and things like this. So let's start exploring our range, sort of sensing our effort. Begin simple, standing or sitting, and notice where there's effort in the body. Notice any holding, gripping, or tension, and then slowly exaggerate that effort, holding more or tightening more, and then begin to let go gradually, bit by bit, and move between holding and releasing, exploring the edges of where movements start, noticing how our attention carries effort or ease. So simply starting sitting or standing, feeling where there is any effort, holding, tension, any gripping, exaggerate that, hold it more, tighten it, and then begin to let it go gradually, and then move between the holding and the releasing, finding its edge and seeing where movements start, and noticing all the time how our attention itself carries a sense of effort and ease. So pause here and go away and just explore what effort is already in the body. Excellent. Did you find that as you release a tension or increase a tension and it sort of starts to move our body, another tension or holding starts to sort of occur elsewhere? It's an interesting play, right, between this sort of tension and relaxation. So now continuing with that, moving between tension and relaxation, start moving freely, but focus on the varying effort levels of what you're doing. Let your movement travel between high effort, pushing, resisting, reaching, and then low effort, sort of letting go, yielding, softening, and flowing. You might try to use your imagination. So imagine yourself moving through different substances. So through the air, there's like an ease or through water it starts to get more resistance, or perhaps through something like syrup or treacle, and then maybe even through something like stone, what it would be like to move through stone. So let the effort you use sort of respond to the imagined materials. So start freely moving, focusing on the varying effort levels of what you're doing, from high level, pushing, resisting, reaching, to low level, letting go, softening, yielding, flowing. And you can use your imagination if you wish to imagine yourself moving within different substances. So take time to sense how changes in effort shift your tone in your body. All right, now I'd like to go into an exploration which is a little bit more defined. So whereas before we're sort of flowing, moving in any way, now I'd like you to find small repetitive movements, a sway, a circle, a tap, and gradually increase the intensity until it becomes almost too much. Then let it fade until it's barely there. So you're just sort of doing this a few times, and like waves, allowing it to rise until it's very, very tense, almost too much, and then fall away until it's barely there. So finding a small repetitive movement, and we can ask, what does it take to sustain or let go of that repetitive movement? A sway, a circle, a tap. And then we can also ask, what happens when you let ease lead rather than effort? So we can start to initiate slightly different these repetitive movements. So start simple, start with a sway, a circle, a tap, increase and decrease like a waves, and have a little play, and then start to investigate them a little further, asking what does it take to sustain or let go? What happens when we let ease lead rather than effort? Okay, so pause here and come back in a minute. All right. I love finding these sort of little repetitive things. It sort of allows my brain to sort of soften and disappear, and then just play within the unexpected qualities and tones that sort of emerge. But now I'd like you to I'd like you to spend some time dancing in ease. Now let the whole body move with a sense of ease as much as possible. It doesn't mean you have to be completely limp, although you can play with that and have a go, but have a go at sort of allowing the qualities of movements to happen rather than making them happen. See if you can find a flow or a release or a sort of use of suspension that allows you to carry an ease of movement and dancing. And try this in silence, and then try it to a piece of music, something that invites softness and spaciousness, something that can allow you to sort of move with as little effort as possible, and just really play in that space and see if you can notice what happens when you do less. Okay, so pause here, go away and dance for a while, and then come back when you've finished. okay, take a moment to sort of come together and finish with everything we've got. You can lie down, breathe, stretch, try and take care of your body. And you can ask yourself, where does effort live in you right now? Where does ease live right now? And maybe take a moment, write a little and map a little bit of your effort and how it felt today. And ask, how might that awareness carry you into your next dance, into your day, into the movement that you continue to do. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you for joining me. Hi, thanks for listening. If you can support the podcast, please go to paypal.me/dancepeter. I'm just looking for a little bit of funding to help support the cost of the hosting. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you so much.